Hello, my life with CPS, it is a total nightmare. You know, the group called CASA, they're total creeps. The first CASA worker that they assigned to us was late half the time. Her name is Michelle Clark. She was late. She didn't remember all the appointments. She was pretty incompetent with her daughter, Chloe. Her daughter was running a temperature of 103, and she didn't even think to take her own child to the hospital. And also, she didn't work at all. She was completely dependent upon her husband. And for her daughter, she had a nanny, and she had her child in daycare. And she came to my house and looked at my daughter and go, "Oh, your blue eyes sent me." I found that totally pathetic. The second one, her name was Carol Thomas. She admitted that she couldn't help her two daughters with their homework, that she didn't have enough time in the day, and that she didn't have time to read all the documents and paperwork that was presented to her. She rarely came over, and when she did, she always tried to criticize. Total loser. But when our children were removed, for a year and a half, this woman only visited my son and daughter the total of one time. And then she, all of a sudden, abandoned the case, and then they had a third person who refuses to return our phone calls, won't give us time of the day, and completely ignore us 110%. So that's why I say CASA is creeps. On top of that, who put them in charge of our daughter's life and our son? That's Dale P. Reisner at Swedish Hospital. She started all this back in 2002. They snatched my child away after giving birth within the 3 days. She says, "Oh, this child's addicted to drugs." But she didn't mention that she gave me a series of drugs, 3 of them. And my daughter was addicted to drugs, had to clean out, had to go to a Kent location, which is about 100 miles away from her home. Also, she inflicted blunt head trauma to my daughter's head at birth, and then we asked them to leave her in the oxygen machine, and they refused to do that. So she's got brain damage, and she can't even say her own name, and she'll be 7 years old, December the 9th, 2002. I have been looking for a lawyer high and low. Not one will take my case. They'll listen to my story, and then they'll discard it. I believe that nobody wants to go up against Swedish Hospital. Then we have these judges, which play merry-go-rounds. We always go from judge to judge to judge. They always seem to switch, along with the lawyers. The lawyers have a tendency to abandon the case once we get in their face and we ask them to speak up on our behalf. That's the same for my husband, and that's the same for myself. Let me tell you something. First time being harassed by CPS and CASA, I'm begging you, fellow Americans, do not sign a contract. The contract means you're going to be harassed for the next 18 years. They are going to find a reason to come in and tell you you're not doing a good job as a parent, send you to parenting classes, and badger you to death. Wherever you move, they're going to follow you from place to place to place. I know. I've moved 3 times in 5 years, and they still would not leave us alone. We got really tired of being harassed. We did not believe that having children was going to be a harassing experience. But when you're poor, you're going to be bothered. If you're rich, you're not going to be bothered, because I'm pretty sure CPS isn't telling the whole entire world, doctors and teachers and lawyers, people that work at banks, to go to parenting classes to be a parent. I'm pretty sure that all the movie stars, the rock stars, are not going to quit doing their movies in order to go to parenting classes for CPS. People like Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown can get away with anything. They can do drugs galore, go to jail numerous amount of times. Whitney Houston got on that plane and fled the marijuana in Hawaii But I didn't see CPS walking out with her daughter or telling her to go to parenting classes or telling her to go to domestic abuse classes, even though they claim they physically hurt each other. But CPS only harass the poor people. They will not leave poor people alone. They want to make you miserable being a parent for the first time. If you're a parent for the second time, they want to badger you, harass you, bother you, come to your house, invade your privacy. That's what CPS is all about. This doctor wrote on the report that everything I was telling her, and this is the doctor who put a pregnant woman on Percodan, and CPS thinks it's okay, CASA thinks it's okay, the judge thinks it's okay, the lawyers think it's okay. The doctor gave me narcotics and drugs, but it's okay with them. I'm telling them I felt sick on it. I didn't want to take any more of their drugs, and the doctor's trying to push more drugs down my throat. I tell them no. The doctor says, oh, you're putting your child in danger because you won't take any narcotics and drugs. The same combination that killed poor Michael Jackson, the same combination that killed Anna Nicole Smith, the same combination that killed Heath Ledger. This is the same drugs they tried to shove down my throat while I'm pregnant with my daughter. And I told them no because it was making me sick, and they told me that I was putting my child in danger. Now, Del P. Reisner wanted to give me a series of tests. A series of tests I've had miscarriages on back in 1998 and 1999. She wanted to give me the same test in 2002. I said no. She said I'm putting my child in danger. Okay. She contacts CPS. I take in documentation and paperwork showing what those tests will cause, and they completely turn a blind eye to it. But I understand they're into scamming the state. See, CPS, whenever they take your children away and give them back to you, did you know they get a $6,000 bonus on their paychecks per child that's returned back to the household? That's what is going on. So, for future references, all Americans out there that are poor, if CPS ever walks off with your children, do not sign any contracts or any paperwork whatsoever. If they have some fat bastard knocking on your door and he's telling you point blank, sign these forms to terminate your parental rights, don't sign a damn thing, because there's really nothing they can do. It'll be kidnapping when they walk off with your kids. And what I think is that all these lawyers that need money, that have just graduated from college and they owe tuition payments, what you really need to do is take on a class action CPS case and sue all the doctors who start this, all the people that start these false allegations. What they need to do is start suing the people that start this, because it seems like when people make trouble in your life, they can just wash their hands of everything. I'll tell you how I met Del P. Reisner. I met her in 1999, May the 19th at 1:05 in the morning. I had just lost my daughter. Oh, that's right, I had a daughter at 1:05 in the morning. Her name was Delina Gia Kelly Timmons. It was a breech birth. Baby came out feet first, cord wrapped around its neck, strangled to death, and dead. Okay, she comes to my room at 3 o'clock in the morning and tells me to check out at 11. I tell her that my insurance will cover everything and can I stay for at least 24 hours to recover from losing a child, and it would give me ample time